Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel, SAP with IK. So today's topic will be on the factory calendar. So we'll take a look on how to create the factory calendar and what are the prerequisites in order to enable or create a factory calendar and also to extend the validity of the factory calendar. So let's get started. So here I'm in SAP. So the transaction that we use to create a factory calendar is SCAL. So this is the transaction code. So here in this particular transaction, we will see three options. One is the public holidays, the holiday calendar, and then the factory calendar. So first we'll understand on the purpose of creating this factory calendar. So let's say we have a plant, right? So in a company code, we will assign multiple plants, and each plant can be located in a different location or in a different company, right? So each location will have its own calendars, right? I mean the holiday calendar and also the factory calendar. So let's say you have a plant in India and your second plant is in US. So US could have a different set of holidays and also a different set of working days in a particular year, right? In the same way, India location will have its own public holidays, and also the factory calendar should be set up according to the local, the holidays. So for that purpose, and this is not specific to only a country, but also different states in a country, right? So in order to manage those holidays according to the region or the localization, we basically use this concept of creating the factory calendar. So these factory calendar, they basically play a key role in performing the scheduling and also to define whether the date that you have entered in the process order or the production order or the purchase order or maybe the sales order, right? So in all these elements, so if you have assigned a particular date, so then the factory calendar comes into the picture and it will say that if it is a holiday, a non-working day, or a working day, right? So accordingly, the users will be notified that let's say you have inserted the date as which basically is a non-working day, so maybe Sunday or Saturday, okay? And now we actually missed to look at the date if it is a working day or a non-working day. So now this system takes care of it by looking at the date that the key user has keyed in. So it basically checks if it is a working day or a non-working day as defined in your factory calendar. So this factory calendar will have the prerequisites as the public holidays and also the holiday calendar. Why? Because every factory calendar that we assign to a plant, it should be set with the holidays according to that particular region, right? So those holidays will be defined in the public holidays and then the holiday calendar, and then we are going to assign these combinations into the factory calendar. So once we create the factory calendar, so this factory calendar will be assigned into the plant as part of the configuration. So if you have not assigned any factory calendar into the configuration of the plant, then you also have an option to assign this factory calendar into the work center that we use in the PP module, right? So accordingly, the capacity calculations and the capacity leveling planning, so those concepts will be working based on the calendar that you assign to the work center. So now just let me open the plant creation and show you where we actually assign the factory calendar. So here in the transaction OX18, which is the configuration of the plant, so here we assign the factory calendar that should be tagged with this particular plant. So all the dates, the holidays, and also the working days, non-working days, everything will be tracked based on the assignment of the factory calendar in this particular setup. So let's go back to the factory calendar. Yeah. So here in the public holidays, so this is where you basically will create the list of holidays that you have to assign in your system. So this public holiday is basically irrespective of the region. So it could be any public holiday you can just add in. And one important thing is that you have to make sure that these changes that we do are not client specific, right? So let's say we are doing this configuration in the development system and client 100. So then it applies to all the clients in that particular development system, right? So dev may have client 100, client 110, and client 120 for the unit testing and the UAT, right? So in this specific factory calendar configuration, this is applicable across the clients in the particular dev system. Usually when we create a change in the customizing client, which is 100, let's say you create an MRP controller in 100, so then you will have to pull that into the test system in the same dev, right? So let's say your unit test client is 110 or 120. So then you will have to pull this particular transport through SCC1 transaction, right? So, but in this case of the factory calendars, so these are not client specific. It applies to all the clients in that particular system. And please make sure that the factory calendar changes that we do should be through the customizing client only, and not into your quality system or into your production system. So you should not do these transactions or do these changes directly in the production environment. So they should flow the transport mechanism according to your system landscape, starting from your customizing client dev, and then to your quality system, and then to the production system through a transport. Okay. So now here I am using the client 110. So that's the reason you see this warning message saying that the transport function is only active within the customizing client. So 110 is my unit testing and not my customizing client. So that's the reason I will not see an option basically to transport this particular change. Okay, but you should do this in the 100 system. So I don't have access to 100. So that's the reason I'm using the test system. Okay, so now back to the topic. The first thing that we are going to do is to create a public holiday. So let's start from the scratch. So I go into the change mode, and here you see the complete list of holidays created in this particular system. Okay, so now I'm going to create one. So click on that icon, create, and then you will see this pop-up where you can actually choose the type of the public holiday, whether it is with a fixed date or maybe with a fixed date from a particular date, or a distance to Easter, and so on. So now I'm going to use this option with fixed date. Create, and then here we assign the day of that particular month on which this public holiday should be created. So let's say I assign it as 5th of April. So the month I can choose it from the drop down, which is April 04. This means that I'm going to create a public holiday in the month of April and the date as a 5th, right? So a 5th of April should be my public holiday. And then down below, if you do not have a guaranteed holiday, or if you have it something like a Thursday, Friday, and so on, then you can choose that option. But this keeps on changing every year, right? So that's the reason we choose this option, not guaranteed. And then coming to the sort criteria. So what should be the key through which you can basically sort and identify this particular public holiday? So my sort criteria here is I would like to assign it as a TH. TH basically stands for test holiday. So I'm just trying to create that. And then you have the religious denomination. If you have something to be applied according to these options, then you can. If not, you can just leave it as blank, or maybe assign it as no denomination. And then the public holiday class. If it is not a public holiday, or an ordinary public holiday, or a half day, right? So now I'm going to leave it as, maybe I'll just choose it as blank, which is not a public holiday, or maybe I'll choose one as an ordinary public holiday. Okay. And if you are going to create just a non-working day, but which is not a public holiday, then you can use this option, not a public holiday. And then the short holiday name is holiday test. Holiday test. Okay, let me choose holiday test. And then the long holiday name is again holiday test. So here let me put it as HT, the short holiday name as HT. And then click on create. Okay, right. So now you can see this particular list updated with our test holiday. So let's try to find out. Yeah. So the search term that we have given here is with the test holiday, right? So the short key is again TH and the short text is TH. So this is the holiday we just created. And here in this field, in this column, use in public holiday, use in the holiday calendar is not checked yet. Why? Because we have not assigned this public holiday into our holiday calendar. So when you assign this particular public holiday to a holiday calendar, then you will see a checkbox in this particular column. Okay. If this is not used, it means that it has been created but not used yet. So I go back. So now, so you can basically ignore this message. It keeps on coming. Why? Because I'm working in 110. So you just ignore it. But if you're working directly in the 100 client or the customizing client, then you will not see this message. And then go to the holiday calendar. So I'm going into the change mode. So now I'm into the change mode of this holiday calendar, and you can see the complete list of holiday calendars created. So I'm going to create one. So the calendar ID, I would like to give it as holiday test and test holiday as a description. And here I can set the validity of this particular holiday calendar. So this is not the factory calendar yet. So this is a holiday calendar where we are going to assign the holidays that we have created in our previous step, right? We have created the public holiday, right? So those holidays will be assigned in this particular holiday calendar. So I'm going to put the validity from 2023 or maybe 2024 till I want to make it valid for 30 years. So it would be 2054. Okay. Now click on assign holiday. And this is where we actually choose the holidays that we want to assign into this holiday calendar. So I'm going to choose this just randomly, nothing in specific. Why? Because it's only a demo. And I would like to search for my holiday calendar, which is named with test. Yeah. So here is the public holiday that we just created. So select. And then now we have selected multiple entries, right, on the top as well. So let me choose few more. And now click on assign public holiday. So now you can see all these have been assigned to this particular calendar ID HT, which is our test holiday and valid from 2024 till 2054. So now these public holidays are valid from 1900 till 2173, but you also can change it. Let's say you want to have a particular holiday. Let me show you, for example, if the holiday test should be valid only from 2024 till 2025. So you can assign the validity of this particular holiday. Now click on save. So these are just warning messages saying that the floating public holiday is not defined in each year of the interval between 2024 and 2054. That's fine. So I can just ignore it. So now the public holiday calendar HT has been saved. Now I go back. So let me do a search for that. This test. Yeah. So here we can see the holiday calendar created. So let's go into it, the display mode, and we can see that it just started from 2024 and the validity is till 2054, and the number of holidays we assigned are basically 11 holidays, and the holidays that we get on Saturdays, we can see the count for each year, and the holidays that we get on Sunday is basically one for this particular year. The same way for each and every year you can see the count on when it basically applies on Saturdays or Sundays. A public holiday has been created and the holiday calendar is also created, and next we go to the creation of a factory calendar. So I'm going into the change mode. So here we have some predefined standard factory calendars. So now I'm going to create, let's say I'll do it like a factory calendar as test. So now it will be factory calendar test, and the validity I would like to have it is from 2024 till let's say 2050. Okay, and now here we are going to assign the holiday calendar ID that we created earlier, so which is HT, the holiday calendar, right, for the test. And then the work days you can assign it to your factory calendar. What are your work days? So let's say if you have your manufacturing or the shop floor it basically runs 24/7, so then you can check all these as your work days. But let's say if you have a weekly off on Sundays and public holidays, so then you will have a 6-day work week, so which will have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday as your work days, and the rest, Sunday and your public holidays, are non-working days. Okay, so let me put it like this, and I have assigned the holiday calendar ID here. Now we are going to save it. So now the factory calendar has been created. Let me go back and take a look for that. FT. Yeah. So here we have the factory calendar created, and now go to the display calendar, and we see that the validity is from 2024 till 2050, which has the number of days from the beginning, and then the number of working days for each year, and number of free days, which are basically our non-working days according to our holiday calendar. So yeah, this is how we basically create the factory calendar. So once you create this factory calendar, then what you're going to do is just choose this option on the top, calendar, and then click on this option, transport. So usually if you do it in the customizing client, in the 100 client, you will see another icon with a truck. Let me take a look if I can open a different system. Okay, so this is a different system, and I'm in the customizing client 100. So here you see this icon to create a transport for this change, and you also can choose this option from the calendar and then click on transport. So if I click on this transport, it says that all public holidays, public holiday and factory calendars will be transported. So it means that whatever changes, so let's say you have your colleague also working on a different factory calendar, let's say B1, and now you are working on a factory calendar C1. So now when you try to create, when you try to save your changes into your own transport, so he might be in progress. So his changes on that particular factory calendar might be in progress. So he is not done yet. Okay, he had to pause it for a reason. And now when you do this transport, okay, and save all the changes into that particular transport, so the changes related to the other calendar which your colleague is working on will also be added into your transport. Okay, So it is not that this change that you're going to save now is only for the changes that you are working on, but it also includes the changes what your colleague is also working on. Why? Because that is how the factory calendar transport is going to you know club all the changes related to the factory calendar in one transport. So that is the reason the standard practice is basically to do this change from the customizing client and then move it through your landscape through a transport. Now continue. So now you can see that here we get a workbench request, but not a customizing request. So usually when we when we create a configuration, okay, let's say you create an MRP controller, or you create a plant, or you create a new production order type. So there you will see this as a customizing request. But here the factory calendar is going to be a workbench request. That is the reason this is not client specific. Okay. So once you have this transport, then you can actually save it and then move it across different systems. So now when you click on save, I mean, you can just type in your description and then click on save. You'll have your transport created. Okay, you could also have another requirement where you would like to extend the existing factory calendar. So let's say you have a factory calendar. Let me go to one example. So I'll pick this. So assume that your factory calendar is assigned or maybe valid only till 2023. Let's assume this is valid from 2000 till 2023. And now since we are in 2024, you would like to extend the validity for few more years. So let's say you would like to extend it till 2025 or 2026. So we are going to assign that to the valid 2 year in this particular field, right? So this calendar is now being extended to the year 2026, and now hit on enter. So here the holiday calendar, it plays a major role in defining the validity of the factory calendar. So here the factory calendar ID I'm using here is 02, which means that the holiday calendar 02, I need to check the validity of that. Let me go to Scal again, go to the holiday calendar display. Yeah, so the factory calendar the holiday calendar 02 is valid only till 2050. Okay, so now what if I extend this valid 2 till 2051, so which is beyond my holiday calendar, right? So now system is going to give me an hard stop saying that the validity area should be between these years of 2000 and 2050. Why? Because the holiday calendar has a validity of 2000 and 2050 only. But if you would like to extend the validity till 2051, then you will also extend the validity of the holiday calendar. So first you will have to increase or update the validity of your holiday calendar, and then come to your factory calendar and extend the validity of the factory calendar. So that is how these public holidays, the holiday calendar and the factory calendar are interlinked with each other. So that's how we basically maintain or extend the factory calendars and the holiday calendars. And you've also seen how to create a particular the 24/7 work day, or you would like to have a specific work days in a particular week. And we've also discussed on how to create a public holiday and how to assign it to a holiday calendar. So I hope this video really helps you. So let's meet again in our next video. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, take care, bye.